Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me.
Benchmark, they're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. That rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. I taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You playing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tuning now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow.
I ain't seen from now. Miles, you really.
Benchmark Podcast. What's up, bro?
Welcome back to another episode of the Bitch Mob ENT podcast. We have today a special guest tonight where he's at in Germany. We have Omari Knox in the building for this episode. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for the invitation. Been following y'all. Excited to get on here finally.
No doubt. So, first off, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
And congrats on being a new father. I want to start there. How is fatherhood?
Amazing, but that's just the best way to describe it. All my friends who, of course, were trying to describe it to me. It's hard to really explain. It's a lot of extremes, like ups and downs, but it's always constantly something new, and like literally every day, just watching a person grow, and I love it.
So I've already seen the clips, shooting the hoops already, getting buckets already like that. Is that the same time frame when you started to play basketball and fall in love with basketball?
It's very much possible. Like I asked my older brothers, because it's crazy. I have my son has a picture holding the men's basketball, and I asked my older brother. He's like, I have a picture very similar. Like he's like, yeah, you're probably around his age, like maybe 1.5, 2 years old. So it's very much possible. Like, of course, I don't remember anything before maybe 5. Like I remember really playing like around 5 years old.
So would you say this was something that, you always envisioned, always wanted to do, was be a professional basketball player?
Oh, definitely. Like since I started, I mean, since you're able to really grasp like what's going on, like when you're watching, especially NBA at all levels, and you got a favorite player and all of that, like, oh, that's what I want to do.
So at what age did you know that you were actually good enough to be pro? Because a lot of people have the idea and the want to be professional, but as you know, everybody doesn't make it. So at what point did you actually know, hey, I'm actually good enough to get paid to do this?
I don't know. That's a good question. Like nobody's really ever asked me that before, and it's interesting. I guess I would say like I was like a late bloomer. Like I always played against really good competition, and was never amongst like the best of them, but I could always compete. And then even in college, like I had my doubts. Like I was started at Division 1 and then go to Division 2, and there were guys in front of me who had crazy careers and never got the opportunity. So in my mind, I'm like, shit, I don't know if I'm gonna make it if they didn't make it. So it was really like, I don't know, late, and then I got the first opportunity right after I graduated. It's like, wow, this is it.
So you mentioned, D1, D2. What was your thought process in choosing and ending up playing for Bloomfield College? Was there any other school that you could have played for?
Yeah, Bloomfield was really like, I don't want to say luck or just like a coincidence even. Like I came from St. Peter's College, and my coach retired. And then the new coach came in and was like, okay, I'm not giving out just scholarships. So I'm like, hey, I don't want to pay for school. So then one of the assistants from the women's team actually started calling up like any coaches he knew in the area first, and then he called like a bunch of D2s, and Bloomfield was the closest, of course. So we went there first for a workout, and and then the coach.
We're back. We had a little technical difficulties, but you were saying how Bloomfield College, you was at St. Peter's, you ended up at Bloomfield College. You pick it up right there. You was talking about the coach, and you ended up going there based off of the women's assistant coach.
Right, yeah. So yeah, the St. Peter's assistant coach, he started calling up a bunch of schools. He asked me, of course, like, does it matter, Division I, Division II, whatever? I'm like, nah, not at this point. I just don't want to pay for school. So then Bloomfield was the closest one nearby. We took a drive there first. I worked out. There was like an open gym, like with current players, former players, other guys trying out. And coach basically like offered me on the spot. And then turned out like after the fact, him and my step pops were actually cool, kind of grew up with each other and didn't even know it. Like, so it worked out in the long run anyway.
So for
I ended
Bloomfield,
up finishing up there.
cool. So for Bloomfield, what was your role on that team? For those that didn't see you growing up playing, what was your role on that team?
It changed, I guess, from beginning of my career there to the end. When I came in, it was kind of like we had two crazy seniors on the team. Andre Dabney, he scored like 2,300 points, something like that. All-American. And then another guy, Tony Wilson. They were seniors, and then we didn't have much help at the guard position after that. So it's like, hey, just come in and basically was like instant offense kind of thing. And then they both left. And then next year was like, all right, here's the keys. Now you do your thing. And then my senior year was pretty much the same thing. Like, all right, this is your last year. And I had a lot of help now my senior year because the previous years, like guys kept failing off the team. So my coach like recruited heavy for my senior year. And we were pretty stacked actually. But again, like it was pretty much lead and carry the team.
Now you grew up in Brooklyn, you ended up playing college ball in Jersey. What would you say is the biggest difference between New York basketball and Jersey basketball? I'm sure you know it was always a debate. Jersey balls are better, New York balls are better. What did you see as the biggest difference?
I think New York is a lot more show and entertainment, definitely. Like you gotta look good. That's important, of course, when you like New York City balling. And honestly, like before I got to Jersey, I didn't really know a whole lot about New Jersey basketball, just like what I saw, I guess, on in high school weekly or whatever. Like I just knew certain schools like St. Pat's, Linden, St. Anthony's, the big time schools. But I just knew like, and then when I got to Jersey, I'm like, okay, like there's a different, like it's just a different type of fierceness and like hunger with Jersey basketball, like this pride, like yo, I gotta go hard and represent. Like it's just different. I don't know really how to explain it because New York City got that too, but Jersey is like more prideful. Like I gotta really show.
Definitely. I've heard the debates back and forth, but one of the things they definitely New York
the difference. Like between the two.
That's where it's at for sure. If you want to see a show, you're gonna get it in New York. So
Yeah.
you're overseas player. When you were coming out of college, was there any chance of you trying to, stay at home, maybe go on the G League route, anything like that, or was it automatically, hey, I'm going overseas?
I knew like I wanted to play professional, so I figured overseas, of course, coming from like a smaller school, overseas is probably my better chance than trying to get into like the D League at the time. But yeah, I think after the first year it was like, okay, just get in there and like work your way up, and then whatever comes after that. Like after I think 2 or 3 years playing in Germany, I did a few workouts in the States in Canada and then in the G League, but then of course it's like politics and stuff involved. Like going against a guy, I'm from Division II Bloomfield College, and I'm killing the guy from who went to Oregon. And I mean, who else are you gonna choose? Like, why? Coaches like you, and it doesn't matter. Like, we know who we got to take. But of course, if you get the opportunity to stay in the country and play, we your family got a better chance to come see you, then you definitely want to do that. But I just like find a better situation always in Europe. So that was like my path.
So you've been over here now for, if correct me if I'm wrong, 10 seasons. This year, 11th season. How has it been basically over the last decade living in Germany when you obviously grew up in the States?
The first year definitely was like culture shock for sure. Like especially where I'm in Munich now, but which is like a big city or city-ish, and I was like just outside of Munich my first year, and it's like a town called like Dachau, and it was like pretty much just farm cows and that type of things, that type of deal. So again, crazy culture shock, and then playing in different cities out here in Germany, you're like, okay, it is like the American culture has definitely come over here for sure. So you get comfortable and you adjust after a while. And then I noticed like at some point the trips back home to the States were getting shorter and shorter. Like at first I would go home right after the season. So I'm home 3 months or so, 3, 4 months. And then it'd be like, no, I'm staying, to the point where like I was going back to the States for about 2 weeks. And now you kind of just visiting the States. Then I met my wife, and then it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna settle down here. It's better opportunities for me, like after even after basketball. So that kind of like was where like how I chose my path.
Hey, oftentimes you gotta do what's best for you. And sometimes you're not going into it thinking, hey, I'm gonna stay over here the whole time, but it actually worked out for you. And you perfect transition into my next question of, you mentioned it when we were talking on IG, you're going towards the tail end of your career. Have you figured out what you want to do after basketball?
I've been like, of course, now when you up there in age, you thinking about that more and more. And of course, you don't want to keep moving different cities. Like I have my son now, and I said, okay, as long as he's not in school or kindergarten yet, like we still got a few more years. But actually, like was planning, I think because our COVID numbers are starting to go back up little by little. So I'm kind of hesitant now, but the plan is to start a club here in Munich. Also, like of course with the academy, like focusing on youth player development, and then with a men's team also. So the hope is that in the future, another professional team, and more so like basically just the management side and coaching aspect. to it now. But of course, with COVID and stuff going on, it's kind of hard to really predict when will be a good time to start that stuff. And actually, just got thrown like a curveball in the last month or so. I got a opportunity to play with the German national team because I actually have both citizenships now, the U.S. and the German citizenship, and I'm going to represent the German national team in 3-on-3, 3x3 basketball in the summertime. And they actually want to try and get into the next Olympics. So it's interesting. I've been playing some 3-on-3 stuff the last 2 years or so. It's a completely different game. But it's fun, exhausting, but it's fun. But I could see myself doing that for a few more years before, doing the management coaching stuff.
That's dope to be able to play for the 3-on-3, and then obviously that's the first thing that came to my mind, German national team. If they decide to go to the Olympics, that'll be dope, being able to get to the Olympics. Like everybody, obviously, they want to represent the country they grew up in, but oftentimes that's not a chance. Being that you'll be able to play on that Olympic stage, period, though, for a country, that's huge. So when you were growing up, I mean, we could look at the stats, we could look at your career, very successful career. I think anybody would say definitely we would put next to your name bucket getter, averaging 20, 25 plus, 27 plus, multiple seasons over there. Who were some players that you looked up to growing up?
Growing up as a kid, early on was definitely, of course, Michael Jordan. And I grew up in a Knicks household. Like you couldn't go for any other team in my house, but they understood like, hey, it's Michael Jordan. Like you're not gonna tell me you know what I mean? It was okay. Then moving on from him was like the smaller guards that everybody wanted to be like, the Iverson, Marbury, Damon Stoudemire. Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, was like my next favorite player. And I think currently, like I'm a huge Curry fan, LeBron as well. Like both are like the best players right now, still in the game. I like Damian Lillard. I get a lot of CJ McCollum comparisons. Like it's scary, like all the time. It's crazy. But he's another favorite player of mine. But yeah, like growing up, just Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Iverson, that the game changers, like those dudes.
Yeah, the Knicks. I have a couple of Knicks fans that's on. Mike, growing up, was in the way of a lot of Knicks success, but you couldn't knock him. Is Mike. He was that great. Like as much as he messed up the Knicks' success, it was Mike. You couldn't say nothing about it. You're from Brooklyn. What were your initial thoughts when you hear the New Jersey Nets are now coming to Brooklyn? What were your thoughts when you heard that news?
I was excited because I mean I've always been like a diehard Knicks fan. I mean, to me it's still a Knicks city. Like Brooklyn, you got probably the better roster or whatever, but you got to earn your staying first. I mean, you got to put some work in first before guys start. But no, I was excited. Like, okay, where first thing, what this arena is going to look like, because I actually seen the construction gradually, like as it was going up, from the apartments being knocked down to all of it, like step by step. So I knew where it was going to be. Like perfect, and then curiosity, like who they were going to get, and yeah, it was just crazy.
I went to one of the games recently. It's a little tough coming from Jersey getting there.
Mm.
And I don't know, being that I was at Nets games when they was in Jersey, I feel the fans was way more engaged
Yeah,
than at Brooklyn. It didn't really feel like a home.
yeah.
Thing. So I think that's interesting. But they there for the long haul now. So
You know what it is? It's the new Brooklyn too, like the gentrified Brooklyn. So the fans are not like this gritty, you know, like, and then New York Knicks fans, that's just different. So
yeah,
like Brooklyn got the new gentrified Brooklyn fans, and I think that's what it is. Like they can't even sell the arena out.
yeah.
But
I got very nice seats for like $90, and those same seats at MSG is like $350.
yeah,
I'm seeing people getting tickets 10 minutes before the game for like $25 to sit behind courtside. Like
yeah.
they're struggling to sell it out. We're gonna transition to with the quickness segment, some rapid fire questions, whatever comes to your head. We're gonna start off with an easy one. How do you start off your day?
Now these days, my son is waking me up between 6:30 and 7, 8 o'clock every morning. So which is cool, but I've adjusted to it now, and then get up with him, have some breakfast, play with him, and then I'm usually getting the first workout in like sometime in the afternoon even. So my mornings are pretty chill. My wife, she's working back part-time again. So until she gets home, I'm pretty much chilling with the little guy.
Favorite things to do outside of basketball?
Sorry? My bad.
Favorite
Would you
to do outside of basketball?
uh I play a lot of video games. 2K, Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden, um uh Netflix. Like I'm on the couch with it, man. Like
Oh,
I mean, especially like being outside of the States, like I think I got a lot of friends here, but the long-term childhood day
yeah.
ones are all in the States. So it's hard to really just go and do something like, yo, I want to go chill with this person or whatever. So right at the moment, like other than basketball, I'm just in the house with it.
The Knicks ceiling this season is what?
Second round.
Second round. Favorite thing to eat?
Soul food.
So in Germany, are you able to get any soul food, or is it something that you got to cook yourself?
Nope. I gotta make it myself, which is tough for you. Thanksgiving just passed, so I'm always going through it around that time. But anytime I'm coming back to the States, that's top of the list. I'm like, I gotta go here, 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 just food spots right off the bat.
You might want to start a little side hustle. Start bring soul food to Germany. You're the only person out there. You might better make a killing. Soul food is loved everywhere.
Definitely, I'm definitely thinking about it for sure. Like,
Who's in your musical rotation? Who are you listening to?
little bit of old, little bit of new. Of course, I'm heavy bias East Coast, New York rap type of thing, but Biggie, Jay the Kiss, Fab, Cole, Kendrick, who else? A lot of Nipsey, Ross. Um, yeah, that's pretty. I can't really too much of the new stuff, like new stuff. I can't really get into, but yeah.
Understood on that one. If you had to choose one song that would exemplify your life, what would that song be?
Hmm. Ooh, that's a tough one. Um, something like, hmm, um, I don't maybe victory lap.
Mm. Victory lap, Nipsey
Yeah,
Hussle.
yeah.
All right. Who wins the Super Bowl this year? Who you got winning the Super Bowl?
Whew, sheesh. That's like up in the air. Um, I think it depends on who's healthy, of course,
Mm.
but I guess I mean the Packers and between the Packers and Tampa,
Packers and Tampa.
but I think Brady gets another one. Like I think they're just coasting right now and just trying to heal up. They like loaded. It's crazy. Every time, like, damn, he played there too. Like, oh my god.
Yo, if they let Brady get another one, oh man, he might play the 50 if he get another ring this year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who you got coming out of the East in the NBA? Who's coming out the East?
Um, Long term, gotta think everything like injuries and coach. Um, I like either Miami or Milwaukee again.
I think Milwaukee is kind of like Tampa right now. They just healing up. They get some of their players back.
Yeah,
Brook Lopez is out. They get healthy. It'll be them in Miami, I think, coming out the East. Out the West, another conference going up and down. Who you got coming out the West?
I think I was saying this since like last year because I'm other than my Knicks, I'm like Warriors. I
Mm-hmm.
just fell in love with this team and just this style of basketball. And I was saying this just watching like Steph playing with all these young guys. I'm like, oh my God, when they're healthy, like it's over. And I think I don't see anybody really. Phoenix looks good from time to time, but you take Chris Paul out and they're like, or any one of the Paul or Booker, like the Warriors. I mean, you can kind of remove Curry, and they still. I don't want to say as good, but like they play defense and move the ball like amazing. But I think the Warriors like don't really got any real competition in the West, especially when they get everybody back and fully healthy.
Yeah, Clay just started his G League stint to get some practice in the game. So Clay back, James Wiseman back, and I don't even think that's the thing that's scary. Low key don't need Wiseman. They could trade Wiseman and get
Mm-hmm.
another better piece to add to that mix. If they
Yeah.
do that, we talking about Curry and them probably getting another three. That's a three-peat again right there. Him, Draymond, Clay healthy
It's
with 8
crazy.
playing. You got the young players coming along, Gary Payton Jr. The second, you got Kuminga coming off the bench. They
It's
really
scary.
they stack and they're playing, like you said, defense. They're top 10 in defense and in offense.
I'm just looking at the guys who didn't go there. Like, I think Paul Millsap is probably kicking himself. Like, whoever else, Patty Mills. Like, and for me, it's like a no-brainer. Like, what are you doing? But hey,
If they wanted a ring, I think you should have chose Golden State, hands down. People that know basketball was saying they might be a problem once Clay comes back. Now we're actually seeing it, and this is before Clay comes back. 5 people. Last one, we get you out of here. We appreciate you hopping on.
No
5
problem.
people, right, dead or alive, that you like to learn or take something from their game and add it to yours.
Mm. Um. I gotta go with Kobe Bryant. Um. Steph Curry. Um. hmm, Uh. James Harden.
Mm.
Um. Uh. hmm, Let me see. I'm trying to figure out like who's kind of similar to me. Like if I was playing in the NBA, like not super athletic, not um hmm, Chris Paul and hmm, defender. I want to talk to like Gary Payton.
Ooh, Gary Payton. That's a good one right there. Gary Payton, with the mix of everybody you just mentioned, you got Kobe, CP. That's a good mix right there. If you could take something from Kobe and Steph's game, what would you take from their games?
Um Steph, of course, like because it's hard to really teach. Like I work with kids sometimes and you gotta like teach for them but he's like just perfected like different ways to shoot the ball like out of off the dribble and his movement like off the ball. I want to talk to him about like how to really get open and get the shot off quicker and stuff like that. And with Kobe, I think his footwork was just, I don't know, probably like one of the best we've ever seen. And just different, like footwork and just adding stuff to your game, like uh with his offhand, like post up work, using the backboard, like everything. Like I would have millions of questions for the both of them.
Kobe's footwork, phenomenal. Phenomenal. And Steph, of course, like you said, Steph makes it so easy for himself because he's getting open and he moves without the ball. Unlike a lot of the players that are considered top scorers, he gets a lot of his buckets backdoor cuts, coming off screen, constantly moving because that defender don't want to keep chasing him. And that second, when you don't chase him,
it's too late.
3-point exactly. It's curtains at that point. It's over. But thank you so much for hopping on with the Bench Mob, ENT. Y'all know the vibes. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Omari Knox, peace.
Thanks for having me, bro. Later.